What if a near-fatal car crash became your wake-up call? Alan Lazaros went from chasing success to designing a life of intention. He's not playing it safe. He's playing to win. This episode of the Rebel Rebel is brought to you by my book, Brand Jitsu. All right, forget brand theory. This is branding that punches above its weight. After 25 years helping artists, entrepreneurs, and businesses stand out, I wrote Brand Jitsu. Move your brand from meh to memorable. It's the real stuff, story, strategy, and sharp positioning that makes people pay attention. Find it at your favorite bookstore or online at brandjitsu.com. Welcome to the Rebel Rebel. I'm your host, Michael Dargie, and somewhere across the world, we don't know where, we're going to find out, is Alan Lazaros. How the hell are you?
I am exhausted. I was just telling you off air about how December is always very overwhelming. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I think I might kind of hate it. It's a lot of people's totally favorite months, so don't villainize me for this. But yeah, it's a lot. But I also love certain parts of it. And so I'm exhausted, but I'm here and I'm grateful to be here. And I'm definitely someone who thinks differently. So I'm grateful.
I love it. Well, so let's catch up on a couple things. Where are you in the world? We don't need your home address, obviously, but whereabouts are you?
555. No, I'm in Massachusetts. So sort of on the border of Rhode Island / Massachusetts. All right. And that's very much where I grew up as well. So I've done a lot of traveling across the US, Canada, a little bit of Mexico, but I'm still in Mass. And I have yet to find a place that I want to live different than Mass. I love New England. I really do. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. We will dive into that more. What are you up to right now? Like, what's Alan's thing?
So as all of us do, I've grown and evolved a lot. So it changes, but it also kind of doesn't. And it's a duality. So what I'm up to lately is growing Next Level University. And Next Level University, I was talking to my girlfriend about this last night, actually. We cheersed. We finally sat down. I think it was like 9:15. We had gotten out of the gym. We made food. We finally got a chance to sit down because, again, December. Yeah. And I'm also grateful for the demand, too, because I remember back in the day when it was crickets. So I as playful as I am about hating December, I'm also very grateful because this is going to be a big quarter for us. Yeah. But you can hear it in my voice. You know, I've been doing a lot of coaching, speaking, podcasting, training. And I'm grateful because I remember when no one cared about any of it. But I cheersed her and I said, here's to reaching our true potential, because we're both just putting it on the court. And she's a podcaster. She owns her own business. We have a business together as well. Love it. And then I had this conversation afterwards where I said, I wonder if other people really care about reaching their potential that much. Because last week we were celebrating Thanksgiving. We were in South Carolina with her family and my mom was there. And it was very clear that our priority, Emilia and I, it's to reach our potential. And that's something we value at level 10. Right. And Next Level University is built on that, a place you go to reach your holistic potential, health, wealth, life, and love. And last week, it was a different paradigm, a different core value. And reaching your potential, unfortunately, in my opinion, is actually not that common. Yeah, having that as your main focus. So what am I up to? I'm up to reaching my potential, helping others do the same. And I do wish that was more ubiquitous.
Outstanding. Wow. Let's go back in time. Let's go back to when Alan, and I don't know, maybe this is a 5-year-old Alan, maybe it's a 15-year-old Alan. I don't know. But we're going to find out. What made you do this thing that you're doing? Like, was there a pivotal moment? Or did it just happen? Did you fall into it? Did you how did this happen for you?
Well, I think in some ways, so Jeff Bezos has a quote, and don't associate me with Jeff Bezos. I know a lot of people don't like him for whatever reason. Yeah, whatever. And again, it is what it is, but he definitely thinks differently. So he has this great quote that I adore, which is, some people have a job, some people have a career, and some people have a calling. And I do agree with that. I mean, I coach 26 people. I've coached hundreds over the years. I started mentoring 10 years ago, coaching 8 years ago, which basically just means I'm mentoring, but getting paid to do it. Right. And you realize that a lot of people really do just have a job Some people actually do build a career, and then other people do have a calling, but that calling one is very few. And so when did I find my calling? There's that really sort of fortune cookie quote of the most important day of your life is the day you're born. Then the second most important day is the day you find out why. And for me, I didn't find out why consciously until 26. The very, very, very short version is my father passed away in a car accident when I was 2. He was 28. This is 1991. I was born in 88, so I was 2.5, something like that. And when I was 26 years old, I got in a car accident that was a head-on collision. It was my fault, and it was not good. It was bad. It was a bad. Now, physically, we were okay because I was in a Volkswagen that was, I used to call it the tank.
Yeah.
It was a German-engineered car. It was just a steel trap of a car. So the whole front end was completely smashed in, but the airbags deployed and the frame stayed. And I'm so grateful for that car because I know if I was in a different vehicle that I probably wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
But that for me was when I realized or owned my calling. And for some reason, it just ended up being this, okay, up until this point, I have not focused on reaching my potential. I was achievement oriented and I was improvement oriented and I was definitely academically inclined and I was goals and dreams for sure. But it wasn't self-improvement oriented. It wasn't personal development. It was professional development, but it wasn't personal development. And so that's kind of when I got the call to adventure, so to speak. And I did a float tank. And essentially what a float tank is
love those.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So you've been in a float tank. So it's, you're floating and it's a dark tank that essentially the density of the water is greater than the density of you. So you're floating and it feels like you're on a cloud and it's a very meditative experience.
Yeah.
And the first time I ever did it was not long after that car accident, probably a couple of years. And it said something my highest self said something along the lines of all you've ever cared about and all you're ever really going to care about is reaching your potential. And so I have my calling written on my whiteboard right over here. You are here to reach your own unique potential and to help others do the same. Everything else is secondary. And that's what I do. And how did I get into that? When I was a kid, I was definitely the weirdo who loved mastery. Whether it was video games or board games or football or basketball, I just loved getting better at things. I loved it. And I was really good at stuff, snowboarding, statistically speaking. And I still, to this day, I love getting good at things. I can't even paint our deck without becoming the best freaking painter to the point where I'm wasting too much time and my girlfriend has to say, just lather it on there. We're not deck painters, right? Go do your thing.
Right.
And so really after 26 is when I turned that mastery inward to self-mastery. And that's my main focus now. And so I'm a business coach, and business owners, they want more revenue and they want to grow their business, but what they really need is more self-mastery. And that's really what it comes down to. But you can't be a self-mastery coach because no one pays you for that. So I'm a business coach. So I'll help you grow your revenue, but really what we're going to do is help you grow yourself.
That's awesome. Right on. What does a day look like? What is your ideal day?
The ideal day. Yeah. So I have my days broken into thirds, and the old me would have been probably too scared to share all this, but my days broken into thirds is very regimented. So the first third is for me, which is, and this is semi-new, but the thirds are not new. So I'll give you the old and then I'll give you the net new. Because I'm Alan version 3.6. I'm an engineer. I think in numbers. So everything's methodical. So, all right. The old me. So pre-26, I didn't have an ideal day. I was just achieving and trying not to lose any friends or family members, basically. Just fear of abandonment, a super achiever, but high school friends, college friends, corporate friends, everything for everyone, nothing for myself, high level. Post-26, it was new regiment. Ideal day was first third is for me, second third is for service, third is for fitness, food, and family. Net new me, this is Alan 3.6, very recent. My first third, I'm trying to get to a place where my first front-facing call isn't until 11. Now, I'm definitely not there right now. I have a 17-person team. We work with 54 plus 11. 54 podcasters plus group coaching, which is 11. So 65 podcasters. And I have 26 clients that I work with. So total, we're looking at almost 100 individuals that we coach and help, which is awesome. Like I said, awesome. Wildly overwhelming, but awesome. Because I remember when it was very little revenue and very little team and very, everything I had to do myself. That said, I'm trying to get to a place where I can start my day at 11 in terms of front facing, coaching, training, podcasting.
Right.
And the net new thing that I wanted to bring into this conversation is I just recently had the thought of, I want my first part of my day to be taking care of me like someone I love. Like I would take care of someone I love. And as an engineer, that's very new for me. Like the whole self-love stuff, that's so new for me. But I kind of get it now, I think. I was listening to a TED Talk earlier on self-worth theory. And I think the superachievers among us, myself included, I think I'm starting to understand why we have so much self-worth issues. Number one, we're weird and we're a mirror for a lot of people who don't achieve much. And number two, we're striving and never arriving. And I get it. And I think that's also good in some ways, because if you have already arrived, you're going to basically be complacent, and that's not what I'm for. But what I am saying is, if I can start each day taking care of me, because I coach so many people at this point, I'm very grateful, but sometimes I feel like I help my team and my clients more than I help myself. And sometimes I feel like I'm helping them design their metrics and habits and skills, and I'm working on helping them design their life more than designing my own. And that's a really losing game. And so I'm trying really hard to have the first third be for me, taking care of me like someone I love. Second third is for service, to then go pour that into the world through podcasting, coaching, and training. And then fitness, food, and family. I mean, R&R. I need a minimum of an hour of R&R per evening, which is basically eat a nice big meal, healthy meals. Not always. Sometimes it is a full pizza. And after the gym, and or a walk with my beautiful girlfriend, or whatever we're doing, soccer, basketball, whatever. And family right now is me, Emilia, and we have Tucker, Tilly, and Tauriel. We have 2 cats and a dog. So we don't have kids yet. But so yeah, that's my ideal day.
Fur babies.
Fur babies.
Fur babies. That's awesome. We're actually looking at picking up some fur babies tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah. A friend of ours found a box of kittens in the snow. Took them in, and for the last couple of weeks looking after them, and now they're at a place where they can be adopted out. So we're going to go
that's exciting.
Help out and grab a couple kittens.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of my cats. I adore them. I never was a cat person before, but Emilia, she said, that's just your conditioning. You trust me, you're going to love it. And I do. I absolutely adore it.
Yeah, I would have, we had a cat a while back. He passed old age, but we would have full conversations while I'm, working, and he'd help me out with problems I was having.
Nice.
Share his opinions, whether I wanted them or not.
Of course. Always. Yeah.
Hilarious. So you're walking through New England. You said you go for walks. So there's Alan. He's out walking, and he's thinking to himself, man, I wish the world knew this one thing. What is the one thing that you wish the world knew?
Personal responsibility is where all good things start. Like that. People have a really hard time with that. And a lot of people think it's the system or the government or whatever. And I think there's truth to that. I do. Like, it's not my fault my dad died. It's not my fault my stepdad left. A lot of things weren't my fault, but there's an expiration date on blaming other people for your own stuff.
Sure.
And at what point, so when do you take personal responsibility? It's like, okay, some people have atrocities happen to them and they end up taking personal responsibility and creating a magnificent life with very little to start. And then other people play the victim and don't do much, even though they're given a lot, and everything in between. So what I wish the world knew, I wish they knew. I'm going to try to break this down. The truth, is it McDonald's fault that we're obese in the US? And the answer is yes and no. Obviously, it's calories are more readily available than they were in their past.
Right.
Obviously, the US is more obese than any other country on planet Earth because of the fast food industry. Obviously, that plays a factor. But here's the problem with that thinking, that you don't have any control over that. You might influence it a little, but you know what you have complete control over is whether or not you stuff your face with quarter pounders. And by the way, full disclosure, I have a quarter pounder every now and then. The point that I'm making is, from a practicality perspective, the thing I wish everyone knew was that despite the fact that it might be the government or it might be McDonald's or it might be the lobbyist or that doesn't help you. It just doesn't help you. It's impractical. There's no putting your time and effort and consciousness on that is useless. You know what's useful? Working on you. Taking personal responsibility for your own obesity. Taking personal responsibility for your own life. What you say, think, do, feel, and believe is within your control. And very little else is. So if you don't take control of the one thing you can control, you're in serious trouble.
Ain't that the truth? Oh man, that's awesome. Great answer, by the way. Thank you.
Thank you.
What's your favorite season?
Cool conversation. It's interesting. I'll tell you the 2 seasons I don't like. Is that helpful?
Yeah, sure.
There's 2 times of the year that I don't like. And I'm very opposite of most people. This is RebelRebel, so I'm safe here.
Safe space, yeah.
I don't like this, the beginning of the summer. So in July, for whatever reason, and again, I'm just going to talk in the US because I've lived in the US most of my life. I've lived in the US my entire life. Let me rephrase. I've lived in the US my entire life. I lived in California for a time, and different parts of the US, but it's always been the US. In the US, I like productivity. I like consistency. I'm a math guy. I'm structured and disciplined. And I think the whole world will be a better place if we all work on ourselves a little bit each day. Okay. So I'm not really I want to design a life so magnificent that I don't want a vacation from it. Okay.
Right.
I'm the weird guy who hasn't taken a full day off in 10 years. And people say that that's terrible. Listen, this is my life. And it doesn't mean I work 15-hour days every day. Some days it's an hour. Some days it's 16 hours. But sure. I never take a full day off on principle because I want to build toward my goals and dreams. And I know that that's weird, but it is what it is. And if you knew the math, by the way, you'd do it too. Anyways, My point of all that is the 2 times a year I can't stand, and I used to be too much of a coward to share this. July, everyone is just off the rails in July. I hate it. I hate it. And then December, no one is working right now. Like, I can't stand it. Why aren't we working? Like, if you enjoyed your work and you really had a meaningful life of meaningful purpose and passion and profitability, and you really designed a life you loved in terms of your career and your calling, you wouldn't want to take 2 weeks off every December. And I'm not saying not to take time off. I think R&R is important. What I'm saying is the 2 times a year I can't stand are July and December. And the reason why is because I think people use those months as an excuse to be a little more lazy than what is actually optimal. And then we all regret it in January. And we all regret it because you're going to pay the piper one day or another. And in December, we fall off our diets, we fall off our goals, we fall off our values. We drink too much, we eat too much. It's a whole thing. And as someone whose job is to help people stay in alignment with their goals, metrics, habits, skills, and identity, and in alignment with their core aspirations, those 2 times a year just drive me nuts, particularly with my team too. I don't want us to go off the rails every July and every December. And if you look at the productivity stats, there's a huge drop. And if you look at the mathematics of consistency and how consistency compounds and the compound effect and compound interest, and if you realized how much taking those 2 months off the rails is affecting your life, trust me, you wouldn't do it. But I'm a math brain, and please don't hate me for that.
Not at all. That's awesome. That's a great answer.
Thank you.
Have you, so you've been continental US. You said you've been to Canada. Where have you been in Canada?
I went to Toronto several times. Like I think there were 2 or 3 times. There's a friend and mentor of ours. His name's Evan Carmichael. He does the top 10 videos on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
And we've gone up and we've interviewed him a few times, and he has a dance salsa studio up there. And then where else in Canada? I've been to Niagara Falls a few times as well. Where else in Canada? I think that might be it, honestly.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. What's your favorite place to be in the world?
I drove through the Rockies when I was in my early 20s. I drove from Boston to LA, and we took the middle route. And there's one town, I don't know the name of it, but it was surrounded by mountains in the Rockies. And it was this little lake, and it was the most pristine thing I'd ever seen. So I wish I knew the name of the town. But the Rockies was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in person. The Rocky Mountains are nothing short of absolutely breathtaking. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, they're pretty spectacular.
Also, do not keep it on cruise control because you will blow your transmission. So that was my bad.
Is that what happened?
That was my bad. So that's my favorite spot I've ever been. Mm-hmm. In terms of my favorite spot to live, was that your question?
Oh, I don't know. It could be vacation. You don't take those, but it could be visiting. It could just be, just somewhere different. Or it could be New England. You're like, this is awesome.
My favorite place to be right now is where we live. We live in a town called Uxbridge. We're in the northern part, and we live near these quarries that are just gorgeous. And we have this condo complex it's well lit, but not too much. You can still see the stars at night. It's really magnificent. I remember when Emilia first found this home, and she said, "What do you think about this?" Because we were looking at all over. And this is sort of 2021, 2022. And I remember it was atrocious to go look at homes because everyone was trying to buy homes at that time. So it was a seller's market. I remember we had 100 people at an open house. It's like, why are we even going in? We're going to end up spending $100,000 extra on this home. But ultimately, when she first found this condo, I remember saying yes, because I grew up 20 minutes south of here.
Oh,
and
cool.
I know this spot. It is New England forests are beautiful. And so if you've never been to a New England forest, come hike in New England. It's something special. And so we have these quarries. So my favorite spot in the world is right where I am. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Uh-huh. Right on. What's a guilty pleasure? Like, what do you do just for Alan?
Movies. Love film. The new Gladiator movie, Gladiator 2, it didn't do that well on IMDb for whatever reason. And I think it's because at this point, Ridley Scott has permission to do Final Cut himself. So he usually has director's cuts and then theatrical versions that the studios kind of make more palatable. And we loved it. Emilia and I, we love film.
Yeah.
Me more than her, but we love film. She has a movie club. Evolved Movie Club is what she calls it. But just for Alan, food and film. I mean, we just watched the entire Star Wars, all 9 of them. Over the last month and a half. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Dude, that's so cool.
We have a projector in our condo, and it's like a home theater. It's the coolest thing. And this projector, somehow, I don't know how they're doing this with the tech. It's got Dolby Digital surround sound. You would think you're in a theater. And it's just one spot in the home. I genuinely don't know how they're doing it. It's the coolest freaking thing ever. She got it for me for our 5-year anniversary, which is just the best. Yeah. So best gift I've ever gotten, hands down. And whenever I talk about it, what's the thing called? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what it's called. I would have to look it up.
It's magic.
Yeah.
And popcorn.
We don't do popcorn typically. Usually we eat though.
Whoa.
Big meals. I'm a Swedish fish guy. It's a guilty pleasure. That's another guilty pleasure for sure.
Oh, interesting.
Especially right before the gym. Simple sugars right before the gym.
Just.
Yep.
Smart.
Yep.
Smart. Oh, that's really cool. So I have to ask, do you have a favorite movie or just one that you go back to?
Yes, absolutely. I have a lot. When you say favorite, I would say The Lion King. And the reason why, it's a hell of a metaphor for my life. And I never knew why I always resonated. I think that we all resonate with certain films because they speak to us. Victim, villain, hero, guide. The Lion King, father passes away when he's young. Scar he sort of blames himself, kind of Hakuna Matata, and goes and runs away from his past. And then comes back to Pride Rock to kind of own who he is. And he's still sort of acting like a cub, even though he's a grown lion. And that's definitely a good metaphor for my life.
Love it.
And the other one that I always had this, and I didn't know why either, but Good Will Hunting.
Oh, yeah. It's classic.
Classic. So MySpace, when I was 16 years old, was big. And I had the duck pond scene from Good Will Hunting on my MySpace. And my MySpace name was Lazo, Lazzo, Lazo. And I never understood why I resonated so much with that movie. And now I do, because he had a really rough upbringing, abandonment issues, and he was a lot smarter than a lot of his friends, but didn't really want to show that because he was afraid of abandonment. And that he's sort of a genius, and I've always felt very gifted intellectually, as much as you're not allowed to say that. I was sort of the straight A's in calculus, even though I never went to class and would party all night type of guy.
Got it.
And so that movie resonated so deeply with me because my childhood was very challenging and
tumultuous.
Yeah, it wasn't all bad, but it was atrocious. Yeah, it was terrible. And yet I surrounded myself with the wrong people, and I was more afraid of success than I was of failure. And so anyways, there's a lot of parallels. There's a lot of parallels with that. Yeah.
Far out. Pineapple on pizza, yay or nay?
Interesting questions. Definitely. Big fan.
Yes.
As a matter of fact,
my people.
We order Domino's from time to time, and we do premium chicken, extra chicken for the protein, and pineapple. Yep. And then I dip it in ranch sauce. So judge it if you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, man. No judgments here at all. None whatsoever. This is awesome. There's these people in the world. I like to call them rebels in waiting. And they're, the way I see them in my mind is they might be just about to do something, or they decided that they took that first step into doing something, and they just need a word of encouragement. What advice would you have for one of these rebels in waiting to get them to the next step?
I was a rebel in waiting before 26. I think a lot of us are playing not to lose rather than playing to win. And if you're playing not to lose, you're inevitably going to. And what I mean by lose is game theory, if you've ever studied it, it talks about infinite games and finite games. A finite game is one chess match. An infinite game is becoming the best chess master that you can be.
Right.
And life is a bunch of finite games within an infinite game. And the infinite game is beyond your own life, and you can have an impact beyond your own life. And so when I got in that car accident, why it transformed me so much, and there was also a lot of PTSD issues. I kept getting pulled over because I was too far on the right side of the road. I got claustrophobic. Crowds bothered me. Like, I had a lot of stuff to sort of work through. However, while the PTSD stuff was hard, the post-traumatic growth was tremendous. And I basically became more afraid of staying small than I did of actually going out and being who I really am. And from that moment until now, 10 years ago, I feel like I've really been putting it all on the court. Because unconsciously, I was fearful of separating myself from others. I was fearful of being smarter than, or harder working than, or better than, or different. I was fearful of being different, for sure. And here's the truth. I've studied this a lot. Statistically, if you are average, you fall in the center of most bell curves. So you probably feel a lot of belonging.
Right.
But you probably don't feel that significant. Significance comes from being different. Belonging comes from being similar. That's why if you feel at home at Thanksgiving, trust me, I freaking don't, but you probably are more in the center of the bell curve. And as someone who's never really been at the center of many bell curves, which a lot of people don't feel bad for, because I get it. It's like, oh, it must be so hard to be so smart. Blah, blah, blah. Listen, the truth is, when you're not at the center of any bell curves, it's very hard to fit in. It's very hard. I used to drink a lot. And I swear the reason I drank unconsciously was because it made me dumber. It made me not think so much about the future. Like, I'm a very future-oriented, esoteric weirdo who I just was so damn different. So freaking different. Like, everyone loves football and I think it's stupid. And I just can't. And so the only way I could tolerate that was drinking. And then I'd be more relatable and more fun and people would like me more. And so after 26, I finally decided to have the courage to express and be who I really am. And I'm still on that journey, obviously. But for anyone who's a rebel in waiting, when you do face mortality, which we all will, you will regret it if you aren't being all of who you're called to be. And no one can decide that for you. You know, it's you versus your potential. And I was barely even scratching my freaking potential. I am mad at myself for just not even, I mean, I would be good at stuff, but only good enough to be the best, but in the small pond. And I didn't know that I was running that because of my fear of abandonment. And so now I'm actually playing to win. And unfortunately, I've lost a lot of relationships because of it. But at least if I'm going to be disliked, at least this time it's going to be for being who I really am.
Oh, love it. Alan, this has been amazing. Time very well spent. Thanks so much. Where can people learn more about you?
I always think it comes off pretentious when I say this. You can Google my name. No, but you can Google my name. And I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. We have Next Level University, the podcast. We're on YouTube. We have 1,900 episodes now. It's 1% improvement in your pocket every day from anywhere on the planet, completely free. 1% improvement every day. Well, what about Thanksgiving? Every day. You can get a little bit better each day. And when you do, I'm telling you, 10 years from now, your whole world could be transformed. And not be different than who you are, but be the best version of who you are and better your best, better your best, better your best. We can all think of us in high school and how dumb we were, including me. Alan 3.6 is far more capable than Alan 1.6. Why? Because I've knowledge plus experience plus reflection. Knowledge plus experience plus reflection equals wisdom. So we all become more wise, hopefully, if we have the humility to reflect on our experiences. And so that's what I Know You is all about, is become the best version of yourself. And we have a website called nextleveluniverse.com. We've got a journal. We've got monthly meetups we do every month for free. We have a book club we do every week for free. Self-improvement books with self-improvement people. And we got all kinds of cool stuff. So this is the last thing I'll say is if you're humble and you have work ethic and you want to earn your way to success and fulfillment, you will love NLU. You'll love me. You'll love Kev. We're the ultimate tryhards. Came from very humble beginnings and you'll love it. If you are arrogant on any level, if you're entitled and you want maximum rewards for minimal effort, you're going to hate us. So don't even bother.
Love it. Alan, this has been great. Thank you so much for your time today.
You are so incredibly welcome. Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode. Hey, if you're an artist, scientist, entrepreneur, or business owner who wants a smooth and proven method to find, shape, and share your story with the world, head on over to brandjitsu.com and order a copy of my book, Brand Jitsu, Move Your Brand from Meh to Memorable. I've been your host, Michael Dargie, and this has been the RebelRebel podcast. It's a podcast for creative rebels and entrepreneurs all over the world. And hey, if you're a rebel or you know a rebel, head on over to the RebelRebelPodcast.com and fill out the guest request form. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time.